Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. It's going to be a big video. We got a lot going on. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. We got to get through this. So in the last week, we did the sleepy eye headlights, and I said that I was going to do coilover to ankle kit, all that stuff this week. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I just got the car back from the dyno, made really good numbers, looking at 402 horsepower at the wheels and like 380 foot-pounds of torque. Torque curve is super flat. I'll put the graph here. So, a couple issues arose on the dyno. Thing one, alternator died. It was a brand new AC Delco alternator, but luckily the guy who runs the dyno had one, hooked me up, got it put on. Happy with that. Second thing, brand new water pump that we installed a couple weeks ago failed. It actually pushed the back plate out. Get what you pay for, Chinese junk. So sending that back. Also, we have really low oil pressure when the oil comes to temp. So we will shoot over here. I'll show you what we got to put in the car, and then we're just going to get after this thing today. We've got a new Melling high volume, high pressure oil pump. So that's going to be the biggest part of this video for today, is actually getting this oil pump on the car. There's a lot of debate back and forth on whether or not you can do oil pump on these cars with without taking the engine out or without dropping the oil pan. And I'm going to show you that I think that I can. So with that, you just get your relief spring and O-rings. I lost my knife. Where's my knife? We've got a new Molly, whatever, cam retaining plate. I did not install the cam in this car. I don't know that I'm not bleeding pressure past the cam, so we're going to install this because we're there. And then obviously just a gasket set. So hopefully local parts store has a water pump that I can get. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, we're going to go to the car, rip everything apart. First things first, I already took the hood off when I had a buddy over here this morning. I'm going to rip the radiator out, and we're just going to be assholes and elbows on this car today. We are going to rip through it. Alright guys, so while the coolant and the oil is draining, we're going to go ahead and bust the rack loose. Okay, I'm going to jump out of time lapse here for a second and tell you what we got going on. So, if you'd watched any of our earlier videos, you would know that the front radiator support the front lower radiator support was damaged in the accident that the car was in before I got it. So, I'm going to take the opportunity of, while I'm actually in here with the radiator out, to just go ahead and handle that. We've got an angle kit, the FDF Mantis kit for the front of this car. So, while I'm in here, I've got to pull the steering rack anyways to get the balancer off. So we're going to go ahead and pull the power steering cooler. We're going to go ahead and pull the rack out, get all the accessory junk, all the tie rod ends, everything off of the factory rack. Once we've got the rack out of the way, we're going to pull the balancer. We're going to pull the water pump. Well, we'll pull the water pump first. Then we're going to pull the balancer, and we're going to get into this thing. I feel like now is a pretty good time to point out that you can definitely change your oil pump on a C5 Corvette without dropping the pan or pulling the engine. What do you think? Looks pretty doable to me. Huh? Now that we've got it out and we've established that we can obviously do it, I want to line up to my top dead center marks. I'm going to pull the timing chain off, which actually looks to be in pretty good shape. We're going to pull the timing chain off, and it actually, hold on, this thing's got an aftermarket cam plate on it. So we're going to go through and we're going to torque check these, because that's an aftermarket plate already, which would have had to have been done when the cam was installed. Okay, so the cam retainer plate wants to be 18 foot-pounds. All right, that one's good. It's a good sign. Especially considering half the shit has not been tight on this engine. What, did I go too far or not far enough? Yep. Okay guys, time to put the oil pump back in. As per the instructions for the Corvette, or just for the LS oil pumps, we're going to be running the black O-ring. There's also a green and a gray. Since this car has the straight shank, we're going to use the black O-ring on the pickup tube. This is the Melling 295 HV, which is the high pressure, high volume pump. Now they also send an additional spring with this kit that you can lower the pressure 8 to 10 pounds and still have the same flow essentially. I'm not doing that because I am terrified of low oil pressure on anything. So we're gonna send this thing. Find the torque spec and torque that down. These are going to be 18 foot-pounds as well. Pretty much anything that's a 10 millimeter fastener on a GM engine probably wants to be 18 foot-pounds. Same for Cummins actually. Pretty much every fastener on a Cummins is 18 foot-pounds. So I went ahead and got my timing cover cleaned up. We're going to go ahead, since we've got it out, and we're going to replace the front main seal. Now that that's out and it's clean, I did take it out and degrease it, we're going to give it a little then we'll drop the new seal in, throw it back in the car. Okay, so we've got our pump in, we've got our timing cover cleaned up and painted. Just going to take some RTV and smear it into the corners here where the pan meets the timing cover in the front of the block. Normally I use gray, but you know, I'm out. So we'll use some of this red stuff that never works. Well, I hate to do this, but I think this is where we're going to end this one off. I have proved that it's actually really easy to change your oil pump in a C5 Corvette with the engine in the car. You do have to take the steering rack out, but honestly, it took me, I think I'm at like 2 hours right now, right around there. And that's with me taking my time, cleaning, changing gaskets, you know, filming, messing with the camera, all that good stuff. This is something that can be done to this point in about 2 hours pretty easily. And then obviously I did a little bit of extra stuff. You know, I took my lower radiator support out because mine was damaged. If yours isn't, you don't need to do that. And realistically, you don't have to pull the radiator and the condenser out, but it's a hell of a lot easier if you do. I am waiting on parts. I've got to get a new water pump, obviously. I've got my angle kit coming, so there's not really much I can do for all of that. I've already got the rack out to change some stuff over with it. I'm going to get it cleaned up and painted and kind of ready to be installed next weekend. If my coilovers ever come, silvers, let's go. So, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If this video helped you or if you liked it, do me a favor. Hit that little like button down there. It goes a long way. I think this is about it for me today. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.